Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a journey through Australia's hidden treasures, the rare 2-cent coins that have shocked collectors around the world. At first glance, these tiny copper pieces may look ordinary, but when you look closer, you'll discover something incredible: the missing mint mark. And that missing detail is what transforms a coin once worth just 2 cents into a collector's prize worth hundreds, and in some cases, over $1,200. In this video, we uncover the history, the rarity, and the staggering value of Australia's most valuable 2-cent coins. So stay with me, because what you are about to see may just be sitting in your very own collection. And to begin this incredible journey, we must start at the very beginning. The year 1966, this humble copper coin, introduced in 1966, marked the dawn of a new era when Australia transitioned from the old pounds, shillings, and pence to a modern decimal system. It was not just a coin. It was a symbol of progress, modernization, and a bold step into the future. The 2-cent coin itself featured one of the most iconic Australian designs, the frilled neck lizard. This striking reptile, with its dramatic frills spread wide, became instantly recognizable, forever linking Australian wildlife with the country's money. But among the millions of coins produced in 1966, there is one variation that has risen above the rest: the 2-cent piece struck without a mint mark. While most coins bore clear indications of where they were minted, this specific type carried no such mark, making it immediately stand out to sharp-eyed numismatists. Why does this matter? Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity and uniqueness are everything. The absence of a mint mark means fewer coins exist in this exact form, and fewer coins means higher demand. Collectors know that the 1966 no mint mark 2-cent is not simply a piece of copper. It is a piece of history that carries with it the story of Australia's bold shift into decimalization and the inevitable quirks and anomalies that came with such a major transition. When we talk about value, it is essential to remember that coins like this rise far beyond their face value. This is a coin worth not just cents, but real dollars that increase with every passing year as fewer pristine examples remain in circulation. Today, serious collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for high-grade, well-preserved examples of the 1966 2-cent with no mint mark. In uncirculated condition, this coin has reached prices in the hundreds, and in some auction cases, values have climbed into the thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard correctly. A coin that once had a face value of just 2 cents has been transformed into a treasure worth over $1,000 in exceptional condition, and the market shows no signs of slowing down. The story becomes even more fascinating when you realize that most people who once used these coins in everyday life had no idea they were handling future rarities. Imagine the countless transactions, the candy bought, the pocket change jingling, and somewhere among those ordinary moments, a hidden fortune passed hand to hand. That is the magic of numismatics. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It turns a coin most people overlook into a masterpiece that collectors will fight to own. But here is the best part. These coins are still out there, hidden in old collections, sitting in boxes of change, waiting in jars that haven't been opened for decades. The possibility of discovering one today makes the hunt incredibly exciting. And let's be clear, this is not just a collector's fantasy. Real examples are being sold, real auctions are happening, and real money is changing hands. The 1966 2-cent with no mint mark has proven its worth time and again. If you happen to come across one in outstanding condition, you are not holding 2 cents. You are holding a valuable piece of history that could bring you a life-changing reward. And what is that maximum reward? At the very top end, in pristine mint state condition, the 1966 no mint mark 2-cent has sold for as high as $1,200. That's the power of rarity, history, and collector demand combined. So when you look at your old coin jar or inherited collection, remember this. Treasure does not always glitter. Sometimes it's copper, sometimes it's small, and sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. This coin is living proof that value is not always about size or metal content, but about the story, the history, and the rarity behind it. That is what makes the 1966 No Mint Mark II cent a true numismatic legend. As we move forward a decade from 1966, another remarkable chapter emerges in 1976, a new 2-cent coin without a mint mark, carrying the same iconic design, yet holding a rarity and value that makes it stand tall among collectors. By 1976, the coin had already become a familiar part of everyday Australian life. Children spent them at candy shops, families received them as change at corner stores, and people hardly gave them a second glance. Yet, hidden among the countless pieces struck that year were examples with no mint mark coins destined to become treasures. The absence of a mint mark is not a mistake that collectors ignore. It is a detail that transforms a regular coin into a rare variety, a detail that sets it apart from the millions of standard issues. In numismatics, small differences can make massive differences in value, and this coin is proof of that fact. The 1976 No Mint Mark 2 cent is not just copper and design. It is history you can hold in your hand. It represents the peak years of decimal coin production in Australia, a time when the nation was finding its identity through its new currency system. Collectors around the world understand that rarity, history, and condition form the holy trinity of coin value. This coin checks all three boxes. It is rare, it belongs to an important historical period, and when found in high grade, it can bring staggering returns. How valuable are we talking? Let us be clear. While its face value is a mere 2 cents, its collector's value soars far beyond that. Coins in circulated condition can already attract strong demand, but the real prize lies in those carefully preserved, uncirculated examples. In pristine condition, the 1976 2-cent with no mint mark has commanded auction prices pushing well into the hundreds of dollars. In some standout cases, values have reached over $1,200, proving beyond doubt that this coin is not just collectible, it is a genuine asset. Imagine holding a coin that once sat quietly in a pocket, used for small purchases, and realizing that today it is worth more than an ounce of silver. That is the magic of the 1976 No Mint Mark 2 cent. What makes it even more thrilling is that these coins are still out there. Many remain tucked away in jars, boxes, or inherited collections. Every time someone searches through old coins, the possibility of finding one of these rare varieties is alive. And remember, this is not just a theory. Collectors and dealers actively seek out this coin. They know its potential, they know its scarcity, and they are ready to pay serious money for the right example. The story of the 1976 No Mint Mark 2 cent is a reminder that value is often hiding in plain sight. While most people overlook small copper coins, the trained eye sees opportunity, wealth, and history combined. Every auction record, every private sale, and every collector's story confirms one undeniable truth. This coin is valuable, and its reputation is only growing stronger. Think of it this way: what was once pocket change can now pay for bills, collectibles, or even a weekend getaway. A single coin, once dismissed as too small to matter, has become a financial reward for those lucky enough to hold it. And the maximum prize? For those coins in superb mint state quality, the 1976 No Mint Mark 2 cent has reached an impressive $1,200. That is a leap of value that almost defies belief, but it is absolutely real. So the next time you glance at an old copper coin, don't underestimate it. Don't dismiss it as too ordinary, because somewhere in those coins, history and fortune are waiting to be discovered. This is why collectors hunt, why they preserve, and why they invest. The thrill of turning a humble 2-cent coin into a four-figure payday is what makes numismatics so powerful. The 1976 Australian 2 cent with no mint mark is more than a coin. It is a treasure, and it may just be sitting in your possession right now, ready to reveal its hidden wealth. From the rarity of 1976, our journey continues to 1981, a year that once again gave us a 2-cent coin without a mint mark, a small copper piece that transformed into one of the most desirable treasures of its time. By this year, millions of 2-cent coins were being struck, but what makes the 1981 issue stand out is the version with no mint mark. For most people, this detail would be invisible, but for collectors, it is a flashing signal of uniqueness, and uniqueness is the very foundation of value. You see, in numismatics, the smallest variations create the biggest stories. A missing letter, a doubled detail, or in this case, the absence of a mint mark, all can elevate an ordinary coin into a treasure. The 1981 2 cent without a mint mark is a perfect example of this truth. When Australia struck coins in the early 1980s, the mint marks played an important role in identifying where coins were produced. Yet here we have a coin without any such mark, and that makes it a standout variety. Collectors began noticing this coin not long after it entered circulation, and as the years passed, its reputation grew. What was once just a copper coin became an icon of rarity from the decimal era. Today, when people discover one of these coins in their collection, they are not holding pocket change. They are holding history, rarity, and above all, value. And let's be clear, this coin is valuable. In circulated condition, it already attracts strong attention, but in high grade, its worth becomes truly impressive. Auction houses and private collectors have paid hundreds of dollars for clean examples of the 1981 no mint mark 2 cent. And when you look at the absolute best preserved specimens, the price tag rises even higher. In fact, the maximum value achieved for this coin in pristine, mint state condition has reached around $1,200. That is an extraordinary jump for a coin that began life with a face value of only 2 cents. Think about that for a moment. What once bought a piece of candy or paid part of a phone call now has the power to bring in over $1,000. That is the magic of rarity. That is the reward of numismatics. It's not just about the money either. This coin is a living artifact of Australia's currency journey, a reminder of the decimal changeover era, and a symbol of how mistakes or variations in minting create legends. But what makes this story even more exciting is that these coins are still out there. In old collections, in boxes left behind by grandparents, in jars of forgotten change, they remain, waiting to be discovered. That possibility is what drives collectors. The thought that one day, while searching through a pile of coins, they might uncover a 2-cent piece from 1981 with no mint mark. A discovery that could turn a casual search into a $1,000 reward. Every collector who studies Australian decimals knows the significance of this coin. It represents the perfect combination of accessibility and rarity, a coin that once circulated widely, but only a rare few carry this unique trait. And as time goes on, coins like this only grow scarcer. Fewer remain in top condition, fewer are available for purchase, and demand continues to climb. That is the formula for rising value. So the lesson here is clear. Never underestimate the smallest coin in your hand. The 1981 2 cent without a mint mark proves that value is often hidden where you least expect it. And if you are lucky enough to find one in mint condition, you could be holding a piece worth as much as $1,200, a treasure born from copper, history, and rarity. This is not just a coin, it is an opportunity, and it might just be waiting in your own collection right now. Leaving behind 1981, we arrive at the closing chapter of this journey, the year 1989. where once again a 2-cent coin without a mint mark emerged, sealing its place in history as one of the last and most valuable treasures of its kind. The absence of a mint mark may seem like a small detail, but in the world of coin collecting, it is everything. Mint marks tell us where coins were made, and when they are missing, they create a variety that instantly becomes rarer than the rest. Australia in the late 1980s was a time of economic change, political momentum, and cultural growth. Against this backdrop, even a tiny copper coin gained new importance, especially when it emerged in a form that was never meant to be common. The 1989 2-cent no-mint-mark coin is a reminder that history does not always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, it hides in the smallest denomination, waiting to be noticed by those who pay attention. Collectors soon realized that this coin was different, and word spread quickly. From coin clubs to auctions, the reputation of the 1989 2-cent without a mint mark began to grow. What was once thought of as pocket change was now being sought after as a rarity. And here lies the magic. While most people spent these coins without a second thought, the few who saved them preserved something far more valuable than they imagined. Today, when one of these coins surfaces, it attracts immediate attention. Dealers know its worth, collectors compete for it, and prices climb with each passing year. So is it really valuable? The answer is absolutely yes, even in circulated condition. It commands respect, but in high-grade mint-state quality, its value is nothing short of remarkable. At the top end, collectors have paid as much as $1,200 for pristine examples of the 1989 2-cent with no mint mark. That is a staggering leap from its humble face value of just 2 cents. Think about it, what once barely bought a stick of gum now has the power to command a 4-figure price tag. This is the transformation that rarity and demand create in the world of coins. The story of this coin also carries an important lesson. It shows us that treasures are not always big, not always shiny, and not always obvious. Sometimes they are small, copper, and waiting in plain sight. And what makes this tale even more exciting is the fact that these coins are still out there, sitting quietly in jars of old change, tucked away in family collections, or resting in coin albums that haven't been opened for decades. The hunt for the 1989 no mint mark 2-cent continues to this day. Each discovery is like striking gold, because the rewards are real and the value undeniable. Collectors love this coin not just because of its price, but because of what it represents, a small piece of Australia's decimal history that carries with it rarity, mystery, and lasting appeal. And as time passes, these coins will only become harder to find, pushing values even higher. That is the destiny of all great rarities, and this coin is no exception. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever come across a 1989 Australian 2-cent without a mint mark, do not dismiss it. Hold it, treasure it, and know that you may be holding a coin worth over $1,200. It is proof that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise, and it may just be hiding in your collection right now.